Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural show of Our Town Community Show. It is just what the name is. It's the Our Town Community Show. We're going to be featuring amazing community leaders just like you. In this first show, I'm setting the groundwork. I'm really excited to partner with my friends at WATC 57 in Atlanta. But this show will be aired everywhere. And we, in subsequent shows, will be bringing on, as I mentioned, tremendous guests that deal with all the things that human beings do. But what we want to hear is their stories, their experiences. We all have these as human beings. We're coming out, or still in the midst of, a almost 2-year pandemic. People feel things like the shout rule I use: sad, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, frustrated. So the faith component of this will be something we're going to be talking about, along with many other things. But, a little bit of my background. I'm going to be the host, but I'll be interviewing other people. I have a beautiful family, a wife, college sweetheart of 25 years in February, 3 great daughters, Kelsey, 22, McKenna, 19, and Brooke, my baby, 9th grade. She's still my baby. I have several businesses I own with magazines and media, radio, podcast network, and many more things. Do a lot of speaking, a lot of consulting, some of the stuff you see in front of you, books I've written. And lastly, I'm the graduate faculty teaching MBA students marketing and leadership, and also working on my dissertation in leadership to talk about startup successes and failures and small business. I say all that to say I care immensely about people's stories and really letting them shine and giving them through these blessings I've received, these media opportunities, these outlets such as TV and then streaming like this show, so that on every Saturday at 11:30 you can tune in and hear different voices. It is going to be fun. Many upcoming guests are, I've kind of pulled them and yanked them in and told them it's just going to be fine. So I had to show them in terms of doing it. But we're going to be talking with them about some things I think are going to be interesting. We're going to be talking to them about words I call F words. You have a foundation in life. So you at the very center of things. But we want to talk about how the spokes work out. How does faith play a role in their journey? How do things like their family and friends play a role in their journey? How do things like fitness, and I don't just mean physical fitness, mental, emotional, spiritual fitness, again, coming out of a pandemic, how does that look? We have all these F words. Another one is financial. I'm not just talking about somebody's career or money, but what do they do with their resources? How do they invest in themselves or for others? And these kind of things will be what we discuss. And I wanted to make it easy for our guests to really just share. And then a couple of fun ones. Fun. We all, I think I'm speaking to all of us, we want life to get back to normal. I don't know about you, but I don't miss having, the masks. I'm going to be up north and in the not too distant future. I'll probably feel good there when it's cold. But in all seriousness, getting back to normal, we are human beings, and I'm very much into the human to human connection. Funny thing is, my last speech I gave in 2020, right before the pandemic began, was on the importance of the human to human connection. Little did I know that we were going to enter a pandemic 3 weeks later when it was announced. And that topic I was talking about how we had gotten so far removed from talking and caring and listening and loving that, oh my goodness, 2 years later, I feel like I was almost visualizing the future. That became even more so. That talk's even more relevant now because, we had people on Zoom 24/7. One of my friends calls it, they were Zoombies. it just, we were taken away from being human beings and kind of pulled apart. So I call those two words unite. Listen to the word unite is U-N-I-T-E, or we can be the opposite, untie, U-N-T-I-E. It's the same letters, but one is bringing people together. The other is divisiveness and pulling people apart. I've been talking about this for years, but through this show and through other things, I really want us to highlight how many things we have to be thankful for. How many great people and communities all over this country, for example, are doing amazing things. I mentioned I own two, and they're actually named Our Town Community magazines. We're community with a faith component, positive news. We've been doing this for years, decades. But my caveat with that, just like this show, is the stories may be tough, but to give people hope. And we don't have to put a Bible verse with everything we do. A lot of our actions and what we say and who we profile and the stories we tell make people gravitate towards us. It's just amazing. I've met so many people of strong faith that have come and become customers and clients in that arena. And they just said, it's just something about this. So that's the same thing I want to do with this show, bringing on guests. And the one F I did not mention before is the future. We want to hear from these people just like you who live in their lives and their families and their friends and whatever it's been the last couple of years or their whole life story, to understand what do they look for in the future. And again, I mentioned earlier, what do they do for fun and make it enjoyable. So it makes it easy on the guests. It gives you a snapshot of a human being who I deem very impressive, which you'll see in upcoming episodes, of their stories and experiences. And I find each of the first few guests amazing. And again, as I mentioned, is probably outside some of their comfort zone. But the next time you see, after watching this first show, you'll see me catty-cornered with a guest. And I really look forward to diving deeper into that. You see, there's so much divisiveness in what is on things like social media. I was a personal early social media adopter in about 2007. Things like Twitter, things like LinkedIn. Before they were a thing, I was fortunate and blessed to connect with people who said, hey, this is going to be a thing. My problem with what I see now is there's a whole generation growing up that knows nothing but online communication. That doesn't mean everybody does it, but it's so easy to be tough and a bully and toxic behind a keyboard or behind a phone. And I think if people take a step back and listen to the guests we have and the ups and downs they've had, you'll find a common theme, and it's love, it's caring, it's encouragement, it's making a difference. I can just tell you from a few of these people, last year, one of our guests who'll be coming up in weeks and upcoming episodes, she literally created a sign about just love. We love everyone, and not because of their race or creed or origin or anything like that. Just love people, love on people. And that's so important. Or another guest I have upcoming has started countless organizations to give back to the community. It's impressive. Does great in his career, but turns around time and time again and just finds ways to give back. Another guest is doing the same thing. I was working just the other day of starting a huge community event to give back, and she gives back through her church and volunteering. That's just the beginning, and each quality guest is what's going to make this show special. And 15-minute segments, I think you're going to find there are nuggets of information that you can watch, smile, enjoy, and as you enjoy them, they're not too long. But they are, to use the three pigs analogy, they're just right. They're just right. And that's what we're going to do. So I mentioned my background. It really is, if you want to break it down, of all the stuff I've studied and done, is in human communications, human behavior. And I love coaching people. I love encouraging people. I love helping people. And I take every outlet, my radio show, or my podcast network, or my 2 magazines, and this show, which is so special. I'm so excited about it. Or teaching, the future leaders who are, getting their MBAs. Take it very seriously. So I bring people on to encourage me. Iron sharpens iron, as we know from the Bible. We all need that encouragement. We all need that inspiration. We all need to see and be reminded we're all flesh and blood. We all live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've said it a million times. You can't get more time. You can't push time faster. You can't get time back. Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. So, for example, if I have a CEO who has 500 people and can get more done because of his staff, and I have a person I know has a 1-person company, they still all have the same amount of time. This other group just has a huge payroll, so they're having to compensate for it. But the CEO of each company is equal. No one has any more time. So I want to give you this as we're listening to these future guests. People listen, wow, that's a lot of things you named, Ryan, you do. Okay, 24 times 7 is 168 hours a week. And 168 hours a week, we don't get any more, we don't get any less. So here's my question on this Our Town community show. What do you do with your time? How can you make better use of your time? We hear this all so often. I'm slammed, I'm buried, I'm drowning, I'm running ragged, I'm in the weeds, I'm swamped, I'm covered up. And again, I heard this before the pandemic, but we remember where we were in 2020. All we really want to do is hug a person we missed, shake somebody's hand, see somebody smile that it wasn't behind a mask, see sports or entertainment come back. And folks, I'm here to tell you, this show is stemmed in positivity and having faith and helping you be encouraged, be excited, and see there's a bigger thing on this planet than just the number of years we live on this earth. And that's what I'm excited about, talking about people and their legacy. And that really is what drives me. And I'm the host, but I will be talking mainly to others, is legacy. What do you leave behind? How do you help people of every age group? And how do you, with the emails you write, with the text you send, with the voicemails you leave, in person, on the phone, where do you spend your time? And I oftentimes find people focused on the wrong things. We're all human, we all do it, I certainly do it, but how can we work towards being more inclusive, caring more, loving more, judging less? And instead of, again, there's nothing wrong with bringing people an encouraging piece of scripture, but what people do not want is it to be thrown at them to make them feel judged and run away. And that's what we're going to try to do here, tell those stories of people of strong faith and character, and really excited about this. So each show, as you tune in, it'll be 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays. So excited. Feel like I'm doing an opening for Saturday Night Live. But in all seriousness, as we come to the close of this first show, I want to tell you something that I say in my magazines every single month. I thank you for starting this journey with me of your town, my town, our town. And it's the Our Town Community Show. We're in this together. And remember this, I have an appreciation of the past, a dedication to the present, and a vision for the future with this show. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Community Connection Show with Ryan Sauers. We will see you again next time.